Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. Cause we've done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you been. Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Morning comes and you know that you wanna stay. Close the blinds, let's pretend that the time has changed. Keep our clothes on the floor, open up champagne. Let's continue tonight, come on, celebrate. That's how we do. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my duck off the crib, the spot, the pad. But my house is your house if you throwing it back. Excuse me if my home draining is sad. Soon as these happy faces land, you can run with the cash. Home run, slam dunk, touchdown pass. Mi casa es tu casa, so it ain't no holding back. Another shot of vodka, you know what's in my glass. It's my house, just relax. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go. Cheers to this. Welcome to my house. Play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. You heard me? We ain't gotta go out, cause what? Welcome to my house. My house. What? Welcome to my house. It's my house.
Hello. Welcome. How are you guys doing? I'm just cleaning my glasses right quick because I couldn't see nothing with all this mess on them. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I know last time I was live, especially on LinkedIn, my microphone was not on. It was muted. And so because I was using a space like this, I couldn't see whether or not anybody was on or anything, but we're here. I am going to do a quick presentation to you all about enhancing business visibility. And we're going to talk about why visibility is so important for your business. So let me go ahead and get this screen up and rolling. So, you can see it now. So yeah, we're going to talk about your business and why having visibility is so important, especially in today's time where we are heavy on social media. But we also cannot neglect other platforms like websites, blogging, newsletters, all of that, right? That all plays into your visibility and why it's so important. So while you are watching this and enjoying the information that is being provided, I want you to do a couple of things. Number one, I want you to go ahead and share this broadcast with whoever. Repost it if you're on LinkedIn. Those are the two spaces that we are actually streaming right now, LinkedIn and Facebook. So please share. I would also love to see some comments to let me know that you are here. At any point, if anything that I say hits you in a different way, go ahead and comment that so that we can kind of use that live feedback so that I know that you guys are still with me and that you guys are really enjoying what you are hearing. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. This is going to be a condensed version. This is a course that I've created, but I've kind of shortened it a little bit to cram everything within a certain period of time so that I'm not drawing things out for you. So, that's what we're going to talk about. So, who am I? So, you guys know me. I'm Lawrence. I am a husband. I'm a father. I'm a worship leader. I have been doing photography for more than 10 years now, and I actually might work very close with female entrepreneurs. But I also help small businesses as well when it comes to branding and headshots. And so, yeah, I offer branding. Photography headshots. I do business strategy plans. I also do marketing strategy, research. I do capability statements. I do so much more than just the photography piece itself. I teach, I have 3 courses. I have this one, which is the enhancing your business visibility. I also do jumpstarting your photography career. And the third one that I'm working on is called the spirit of an entrepreneur. And that's talking about the mindset of an entrepreneur. And then, um, uh, yeah, and I do vision strategy. I help people clarify what it is that they want to do and try to figure out best ways to get cash flow for those things. So that's what I do. This is why I talk about what I talk about so much. It's because of all of these hats that I carry under Chapter A Studio. But I'm also the founder of Powerhouse Networking and Branding, which is a community that I founded to help celebrate and empower women in business. And I also will be starting a podcast next month called The Female Factor. We'll be interviewing women in business as they share their stories as well as their challenges within being a woman entrepreneur. And I'm super excited about that because we have booked our guests all the way up through November. So we're be on the lookout for that. We're going to be streaming on these platforms. I think we're also going to add YouTube to that streaming site. So I definitely would love for you all to be a part of that journey and hear some very powerful stories of women who are doing what they do best in business. All right, so I have a few statistics for you, and if you've been in sessions with me, you have more than likely heard at least one of these statistics that I'm going to share as it relates to branding, visual content, and everything. And I find that numbers help stick with you much better. So let's go ahead and share the first one. So humans, we process visual content 60,000 times faster than written content. And I always say, just think about it this way. Um, you're the way that you can actually secure um, a client 60,000 times faster with visual content before you even speak with them when you have the right content out there. But on the flip side, you can also lose a client 60,000 times faster than written content without even having the opportunity to speak with someone. And that's because of the visual content and how much weight it plays or the influence it has when it comes to attracting the right clients and the customers and really starting that conversation. The next quote I would like to give you is 81% of educated people skim through content online instead of reading. And so just think about it. Those of you on Facebook, how often do you scroll? You're more likely stopping more at pictures than you are just at statuses with just words, right? And it's because it's the visual that really captures our attention and draws us closer to whatever we are looking at. So that's a huge number, a percentage. And then the last quote I want to give you is 90% of information transmitted to, 90% of information transmitted to the brain is visual. So these are 3 foundational um, statistics that I go by in terms of like establishing the importance of visual content but strategically having quality content online and not just posting pictures, right? For your business. Now, what you do on your personal profile, that's your decision. That's your page. But in terms of your business profile, you want to be very strategic in what you post so that you're not just posting any and everything and that the quality is consistent so that you can actually build the trust. So let's talk about professional branding. My computer's right here on the side, so that's why I'm looking like 10 10. All right, so professional branding. So, photography that focuses on capturing the essence of your business and its products, its service, values through high quality images. This is why you don't just want to work with any photographer. You don't want to choose a wedding photographer to help tell the story of your business because it requires a certain type of focus and attention, as well as knowledge when it comes to business and branding. One of the things that I appreciate with what I do as a branding photographer is that when I work with clients, it requires me to research the type of clients and the audience, or not clients, but the target audience of my client. And so I get to really dive into various industries and understanding like what's more attractive in the industry, even learning some of the problems and the issues of the industry, because that's key to building like your business plan and your marketing plan. But it's also key to helping you identify the type of photos and visual content that you want displayed as a part of your content, right? Because you want it to be cohesive, you want it to be consistent across all platforms, whether you're using social media, websites, blogging, newsletters, things that I mentioned earlier. You want to make sure that all of that is consistent. So, the role of the photographer, my role is I'm responsible for understanding your goals and objectives, capitalizing and executing photos, and delivering images that effectively communicate your brand's message. So again, it's not just picking up a camera, snapping a picture, and say, "Oh my goodness, this is dope, this is lit." No, there's a lot of work that has to be done even before I pick up that camera. And once I do pick up that camera, it makes the job so much easier. It makes your experience so much better because you actually have an expert on the set. Everybody, I get it. There are a lot of people who start businesses, and sometimes they're very knowledgeable about the business, but they're not sure how they want to approach their customers, or better yet, like, how should I approach this photo shoot? And so having an expert on set will help ease the mind of you, ease your mind, so that you have somebody on set that you can trust and that can guide you so that you can optimize that time and really see a return of investment in terms of clients. And then, of course, visual storytelling allows you to communicate your brand's message, values, and personality in a compelling and memorable way. You want your pictures to be one that is unforgettable. You want images and content that when people see them, they're drawn to it. They want to stay connected to you. They want to sew into you. They want to partner with you. They want to collaborate with you. They just will not forget who you are and what you represent and what you have to offer. And that's what visual storytelling does. And so again, you don't just want to work with any photographer. You don't just want to pick a random photographer. You definitely don't want to pick a photographer because of low pricing. You want someone who is going to stretch you, someone who is going to understand where you're going, and they're going to understand your needs even at that moment, so that it's easier to guide you through that process. I hope you're learning something right now. All right. So, why professional images? One of the things that I do as a branding photographer, and if you've heard me in Clubhouse spaces or when I introduce myself, I always share that I help entrepreneurs and small businesses in three areas. I help you with brand visibility, brand recognition, and increased cash flow. I am an advocate for passion. Don't get me wrong. I do believe that passion could lead you into starting your business, starting an organization, starting nonprofits. But I also recognize that passion alone will not pay the bills. There are going to be times where your passion is not going to be there. You're not going to be motivated as you were when you work in the 9 to 5. You're not going to be as inspired every single day. Some days you're not going to want to get out of the bed. Some days you're not going to want to do anything. And that's totally expected and normal. But understand, when it comes to starting a business, it's not just about passion. You need cash flow. That is what business is all about. It's about creating cash flow. If you are working at what you would call a business and there's no money coming in, then what you have is a hobby. It's not necessarily a business, right? You have to be very strategic and understanding numbers, understanding analysis, and all of that so that you can develop cash flow. That's what's important. Cash flow. I need you guys to remember that. Cash flow. Okay, so cash flow is very important when it comes to business, and honestly, in any project that we do, right, you need money in a lot of cases to do certain things. But when you're talking about a business, obviously, as a business owner, you want money to come in. It's that simple. You want money to come in. Why? Because you have family that you got to take care of. You have bills, expenses that you have to take care of, and many of us, we have the luxury of having that 9 to 5 as well as starting a small business on the side. But for those who are doing full time entrepreneurship, they have to worry about cash flow, not just for their home, but for the business as well. So it's almost like you're responsible to getting two or double the amount of revenue so that you can cover business expenses, but you can also cover your home expenses and things like that. So that's why professional images are so important, because it helps covers that. And let me tell you that I have worked with clients who have been working at a 5 figure range, but as soon as they got those updated images from me, within 3 months they were actually hitting 6 figures, because that's how big of a difference your quality images and content make when you are working to bring in more cash flow and trying to connect with the right audience. So let's move on. So let's talk about the benefits of professional branding. We know why it's important, but many of us don't know the benefits that come with actually branding yourself professionally and using a professional photographer. Number one, when you're working with professional branding and you're using consistent images, what happens is you start to build trust and credibility with customers, which is key, right? Because that creates loyalty. You want loyalty. You want repeat customers, but you also want new customers. But not every customer is going to just work with you on the first viewing of your services. They're going to be watching more often. I believe you have to. Somebody has to see something anywhere between 7 to 12 times before they actually. The average person has to see something between 7 to 12 times before they actually make a decision on something, right? So that means within those 7 to 12 times, you need to be consistent in what you're posting. And if you don't have professional images, that creates a space of inconsistency. And when there's inconsistency, that can actually break the trust of your prospects, where now they're going to look somewhere else because they don't see the consistency in there. And so that's very huge, right? You build trust, credibility with customers. When you build trust and credibility, it decreases price sensitivity. And price sensitivity is when people are more concerned about how much the cost is versus the quality of the benefits that they're getting by working with you. You want your business to be treated as a utility, not a luxury. A utility is something that is needed and necessary. It solves a unique issue that nothing else will be able to solve, right? And so many of us, we have businesses that are very much luxury, means technically our customers can live without it. But when we present our services in such a consistent level of quality, along with addressing direct issues of our customers, then eventually there is a decrease in price sensitivity, meaning they don't care how much the charge is as long as it's meeting their needs, right? And then two, they're going to see your service as a need and a requirement for them versus, oh, this is what I desire, right? So this is why trust and credibility with your customers is so important, and you can accomplish that through professional branding. And then also you get to promote business, company, and culture using professional branding. That's so important because now you get to explain, share what your business values are, your mission is, and all of that. It becomes clear when you're using professional images, right, as opposed to just pictures using cell phones or low quality images. And then not only that, when you're actually investing in professional photography, they get to see who you are as the owner of the business versus you using stock images, where there sometimes could be a disconnect between your content and your values. So you putting yourself in those images or putting someone that you know and trust to help convey that message also helps promote that culture. And then enhance marketing and advertising efforts. When everything that you're using, that there's a song on like IG and TikTok that everything is content. Like, don't forget to post it, don't forget to, like, everything becomes content for you, right? So you want to take the every opportunity to present something of high quality and high value. If you don't do that, again, it goes back to our first point where you begin to destroy that trust and that credibility. And just think about it. You could be posting something for just like a whole month, and then all of a sudden you change your strategy into something that's like low quality. That all that trust now becomes questionable to your customer. It's like, oh, what's going on? What's happening? This is not what I've been looking at. Now where they might have been ready to make a decision, now they're like, well, let me think about this a little bit longer. And so it creates a more buyer friction, believe it or not, when you're inconsistent with your marketing and your advertising. And then streamline content creation, being able to have a single space for like your content. Like, you have all your pictures here. You can identify the type of content that you want to use for each picture, the captions, all of that, right? So everything is centered in one place for you. And this is why having professional branding is so important. All right, let's talk about choosing the right photographer. Chapter 8 studio obviously is going to be the right choice for you, but I understand you have to look around some more. I get it. So here's some tips when in looking for the right photographer to help you with your branding. Understand the photographer's style and approach. It goes back to what I mentioned about using a wedding photographer to take pictures for your business. Unfortunately, that may not work well for you. But you have to know their style and their approach, and you have to realize or identify, will this approach be good for my image and my content, right? So don't just look at their recent posts. Is there a track history of their posts? Can you look through a timeline of their work and see that they've been consistent? If they're not consistent, then it may not be time for you to work with their photographer yet. You might have to give it some time unless you want to risk working with them for the sake of time or budget, right? But here's the thing, every shoot is different. And so this is why you want to look for that track record, because you can see, have they been in different environments? Did the quality change based on their environment? And it's that all of that really does not play in the equipment. It plays in the photographer, on how well they know how to adjust based on the scene and the environment that they're in. So understand their style and approach. And then, of course, it blends right into evaluate their portfolios and testimonials. Like, check out their reviews. Check out, do they have any video testimonials about their using them? Understand the experience of the photographer. You might have a photographer that's super great, but the customer service might be horrible. Is that something you want to deal with? That may not be something you want to deal with, right? And so you want to look at all of that. And sometimes when you're listening to those testimonials, they're more likely going to share more about the experience, not just the images. Of course, they're going to share how the quality images are great, but they're going to speak on the interaction between them and the photographer. So that's what you look for in the testimonials and the portfolios. Same thing about track record. Has there been a consistency of quality? Like, are you noticing a consistent style that you like? That you're going to point out in any of their photos, and you're like, I want this for my business. Totally okay, right? Clear communication and collaboration. I'm huge on communication. And so that's one thing that you're going to find with me, and I find it's easier to over communicate than it is to under communicate. So you want to work with somebody that's going to communicate, be transparent with you. I've had to decline $1,000 contracts for them to sell it with $100 contracts because I realized where they were in their business. They may not have been ready for that contract. So having that integrity with your photographer is going to be key too. Working with somebody that just doesn't want you for your money, but they're literally trying to look out for you and your best interest, right? And so those are some key things in terms of clear communication and collaboration. And then two, recognizing what your needs are, identifying those needs and communicating those needs to the photographer, and looking for that reverse communication from the photographer. Can they communicate what the needs are for the shoot, for the theme, like all of that, right? It's all about communication. And don't be intimidated by the information that's given, but understand they just don't want any surprises in the shoot. So this is why communication is so important. And then understand the investment when you're doing things like working for to do work for a branding shoot. Understand you're not shooting from for where you are. You're shooting to where you're getting ready to go to. Okay, meaning a lot of times when we think about photo shoots, we think of it from a reactive point of view, meaning, oh, I got to get a photo shoot. I'm getting ready to do this, but we don't often think, let me do a photo shoot because I'm thinking about doing some more projects in the future, and those projects might be underdeveloped. Like you might be still creating the thought and the theme for that the and the use for those images, but you're thinking ahead. You're being proactive, and when you're working with the right photographer, we understand that there is this is a future investment, meaning there should be a return of investment just by using these images. Remember, a professional image could be the very difference from you making 5 figures to 6 figures. So it is an investment. And with that mindset of investing, then you realize that you're going to have to put in some. You may not be able to look for the cheap photographer or the more affordable or budget driven photographer. You might have to push outside of your financial comfort zone in order to get to a financial bracket where you're seeing the return in your investment, right? And so this is why you have to understand that branding photographer is a business investment. It is not a personal luxury. It is a business and a business investment. And here's the thing: it's important for your business. Your business counts on is counting on those professional images. Think of it as it's a lifeline for your business. Like you cannot afford not to invest in a branding photographer. Like for your business, you absolutely need it. And whether you're using it for um, personal use, or not personal use, but personal branding or professional branding, it's going to all go in the same place where you absolutely need it. Okay. And then let's see. I got two more slides, y'all. Just two more. Planning and executing a successful branding shoot. What a lot of people don't realize is that it does take an average of 3 months to prepare for a photo shoot. If you want to prepare for a shoot where you're not going to forget something, and I know, like for the ladies, because I work with a lot of women entrepreneurs, it's small things like the right heels or missing an earring or the back of earrings. Like those are some of the small and common things that we forget when you're getting ready for a shoot. So this is why preparing effectively for a photo shoot and giving yourself the right amount of time will be very useful for you. So here are some points on planning and executing a successful branding shoot. Number one, you need to establish your goals and objectives. And we are adults, we are mature, so I don't want you to just think about what your goals and objectives would be. I need you to get a pen and paper. I need you to write it down. I need you to make sure it's in a good place to where it's not damaged and you can go back to it and review it. Like you write out your goals and objectives that you want for not just the shoot, but also for the images that you're going to get from the shoot. What are your goals? What are the use of those images will be for? That way you can actually it can help you look up poses. It can help you even plan out your content without you being overworked or overwhelmed or overstressed, trying to figure out what am I going to do for these images, right? Because you've written out your goals and objectives, whether you're using it for a pitch competition, like all of these things, right? Images play a major role in all of that. So, and then number two, collaborate with a photographer on creative concepts. Like come to the table with something. Even if you're just slightly thinking about I think I would love this. It doesn't matter how impossible it sounds. You never know until you actually bring out that inward vision of that concept and have that conversation with the photographer. And you'd be surprised how frequently you'll hear yes rather than no. So think about that shoot. What do you envision for that shoot? Where do you think the shoots would work well at as far as location, even what you're wearing? And if you're not 100% sure with that, talk with the photographer. I'm not sure what I really want to wear. And there are some good photographers out there that can give you some apparel pointers on what to wear, what to avoid. And they're not going to dictate any of that, but they're going to provide suggestions based on what you're trying to accomplish in your photo shoot. And then three, prepare for your photo shoot. Actually prepare for it. Like make sure your clothes is right. If you are more conscious of your body and your image, then make sure you're doing what you need to do to be comfortable, whether it's changing your eating habits until the photo shoot, drinking plenty of water, getting plenty of rest, so that you're stressing over things because of lack of sleep. Like actually prepare for your photo shoot. Think about what it is that you need to do. Do I have a checklist of things that I need to tasks that I need to complete leading up to the photo shoot? And I actually have a book on Amazon. You can go to my website here. Let me put this in here right here. Okay, so I can't post any right thing right now. Okay, so here's the thing. You can actually, I'm going to put a banner here for the website. Under the Learning Center section of our site, you can actually invest in our book. The book is called How to Prepare for a Photo Shoot. So with this book, it gives you all kind of pointers that you need, including how creating a team for your photo shoot, all of that. I'm not going to give you too much details because I need you to get the book. It's only $1.99 and it's an ebook and a workbook, because you can actually create a checklist from it on how to prepare for a photo shoot. So that is a great low dollar investment that will help you in the long run. And typically when you shoot with me, like you have an actual full shoot, we actually give you a copy of that workbook. so that you can kind of have it, review it, think about some things that you need to ask, think about some things you need to make sure is in line for you and for your team. And so that's another way that you can definitely prepare for your photo shoot. And then last, you want to make sure you have a smooth and efficient shoot. And these are some of the things that's going to help you have a smooth and efficient shoot. Number one, you need to make sure you have a list. We've said that already, having a checklist, a list of things that you need to have prepared and ready with you, a list of some things that you need to do leading up to it, but maybe not carry on set. Like whatever that is, you need to have a list. You need to understand time. Like give yourself more than enough time for things. Don't say, well, I only need 30 minutes for this. No, like push that out an extra 20 minutes. Give yourself 50 minutes instead of 30 minutes. Like prepare for unexpected things, which falls into the flexibility. Be flexible for when things change at the drop of a hat, and it's out of your control and the photographer's control. So you want to be very flexible. Don't be so rigid to where if it's not done this particular way that you deemed it as ruined. Like have flexibility with that and then communicate. Making sure that you're always communicating. If you're going to be on time, if you're going to be late, if you're missing a payment, anything like that, right? Communicate. Don't think your photographer assumes everything. Assume that he does not assume. Assume that he just doesn't know, that he's ignorant to the situation, because most cases we are. We don't know certain things that are happening on your side. Even those who have been in business for years, again, we don't know what may be happening. So don't assume that we know. Communicate those things to us so that if we have enough time, we can pivot into something that's going to be more flexible or better for us and give us a better outcome. But again, if you don't communicate, then we're both stuck in this place like, okay, what we're going to do now? And then we're forced to think on the spot. And don't get me wrong, there are times where that will happen, but there are some things that just can simply be avoided. So think about that. The last thing we're going to talk about is maximizing your impact or maximizing the impact of your images, how to get the most out of them. And actually like take advantage of the full investment of your images. Number one, you need to choose the right images for the proper platform. There are some images that will work on multiple platforms, and you might just have to change the caption for it to fit the culture of a particular platform, or you might use totally different images altogether for different platforms. What I usually recommend is you find your primary platform that your audience is located on, and then maybe get you a secondary or a third type of platform that you can just kind of bring visibility to. Don't think you have to dominate every social media platform, because you will overwhelm yourself, and you'll have to try to figure out the best concepts of content for each of those platforms. And if it's just you as an entrepreneur or a small business with just minimal help, and they're stretched in so many other areas of the business, you're not going to have time to do all of that, right? So minimize your stress by choosing one primary platform that you're going to dominate, and then work your way to other platforms depending on where you feel like some of your clients are going to be at. Instagram is not for everyone. It's not for every industry. And you could be in the industry that could work for Instagram, but your niche may not call for you to be on IG. You might have to be on Twitter instead. So you have to really look at that. But you know what? When you work with us, Chapter A Studio, a part of your marketing plan is we identify the platforms in which you should receive the most engagement based on your industry and based on your target audience. Number two, integrate photography into your marketing strategy. Don't just make funny posts, don't just do memes, don't just do all that. Actually utilize the images that you've paid for and utilize it in your marketing, and see the change and the return that you will get just because you're using those images, right? Very important. Don't let your images sit. Don't say, okay, I'm going to use it for this time, and that's like months in advance. No, use what you pay for. The sooner you use upgraded quality images, the faster or the sooner you're going to start seeing an incline of new customers and clients. But more importantly, customers and clients that are actually for your service, not just people that just like what you do, but no, they need what you have, right? So don't sit on your images. Don't sleep on your images. Utilize them. That's why you invested in them. That's why you use them for your business, for your personal branding. Use them. Use them every chance that you get. Because again, 7 to 12 times you have to have something in somebody's face 7 to 12 times for them to make a decision. So if you're putting new images out once every 3 months, like one image, and then you're not doing anything else, you're not building consistency and trust and credibility. So use those images, you guys. Use them. Updating branding photography regularly for consistency. Now, some depending on the industry, you may not require this, but and some photographers like myself, I know with the pictures that I use, that you can use them for like 3 to 5 years, honestly. So you can you can actually monetize on these images for a very, very long time. They become embedded into the company's image. It is what it is, right? And so when you talk about updating photography, you might have you some people, they need that type of content, and we have services that works for that type of content where you're constantly pushing out new stuff and you want to make sure you have new images every time. Absolutely understandable. So make sure that you recognize whether or not the industry and the niche that you are in requires that you are updating images regularly, and you do it for consistency. And I'm going to throw this point in. Don't go back to old images, especially if the images that you're now getting are higher quality. Don't go back to the old low quality images. Let them go. Put them away. Put them in the archive file. Don't go back to them. There are cases where you can go back to previous images if the quality is still good. If you're using images for a different side of your branding, so you might have one for personal branding recently, and then you did some pictures for your business branding. You can go back and forth from there. But I've seen cases where people have invested money into images and they used a new image once or twice, but then they go right back to the old images and start using it. You cannot build trust. You cannot build credibility if you go back to lower quality images. Keep going. If you need more images, see if your photographer can work out another session so that you can have more images to kind of rotate around. But whatever you got to do it. Just don't go back to old, low quality images. And then lastly, monitor and analyze your images for growth. Like, understand what image is working, what concept of images are working. Do you get more response from lifestyle images versus studio style images? Like, even if the industry that you are in is not retail, and let's say it's financial, what is it, financial coaching or financial advising, and you realize that I'm getting more of a response from images that I'm using graphics with versus just a picture by itself, or vice versa. Analyze your engagement, analyze your responses, analyze your leads. Are people converting based on this style image? Like, look at all of that. Ask the tough questions, and once you find your flow, now you can talk to your photographer and say, "Hey, I noticed," and someone has done it with me. They notice they get more response from lifestyle images because they have, they sell apparel. So every chance that we get, we prioritize doing lifestyle images for that purpose because they maximize profit that way. So I want to share my offer to you all. So this is an offer that I have right now, and it's it's one of these offers are good up through the end of May. So that May is the end of May is the deadline in which you can actually take advantage of this offer, which is our Spring Forager business. After sharing all of that good stuff and knowledge about why um, business increase visibility as well as recognition and revenue. We have this headshot, this headshot is a shoot where you can do mix of his and full, and it comes for images as like descriptions for your platforms. Okay, keep going in and out. So forgive me if my signal is that great right now. And then, so we do have our normal rate of shots are starting at 285, which covers your session and it also covers an outfit. And you determine the number of images you want, and the price will be determined based on that. And then our branding starts at 450, same content. Capability statement right now, we are gifting that at $25. Normally it's $125. So if you are wanting a capability statement, then definitely connect with me and we can get started on that. And the capability statement is good for several reasons. It's good for establishing a business and it's good for establishing business and corporate partnerships, long-term partnerships, larger clients. It's good for so many things, and it's not just for grants in government contracting, but it's really to get larger corporate contracts. So those are what capability statements are really good for. Because a lot of times when we think about marketing and reaching out to a particular audience, most cases, many of us are looking more of a peer-to-peer type of client as opposed to corporate, which gives you better opportunity, more pay, less work. So that is my presentation for you today about enhancing business visibility. If you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and, especially those who are watching the replay, because I will make sure this is available. And hopefully, the sound has been on this whole time. Oh God, I hope the sound has been on. But if you have any questions, feel free to comment in the chat or the video, the replay. Some of your questions. What are some of the things that you really liked about this presentation? What are some things that you might have learned that you didn't realize? What are some things that you definitely knew and you simply agree with? And even some things that you guys do, like for example, to prepare for your photo shoots, things that you like. You can even comment what are some things that you always wanted to do for your branding. And let's really start a dialogue and conversation about that. If you desire to book with me, if you desire to book with me for a photo shoot, and let's say you really want to do branding, we are located in St. Louis, the St. Louis area. We do a lot of work in Atlanta as well as Houston, but we travel anywhere. Um, we do have a travel package that you can add on top to make sure like all travel expenses are covered, which is only $1,000 as opposed to 2,500, which is what I had originally. So I was able to adjust it down to $1,000. So whatever you look at, we can give you a total price that includes the travel, which will be no more than 1,000 added to what you're doing, and we can come out, do the shoot in one day, and we can make sure we get those images out to you as soon as possible. We are working on growing our team so that we can reduce the time of editing. So our goal is to get those images to you within 2 to 3 business days as opposed to 3 to 4 weeks. But right now it's just me, so that's why the time is what it is. But we're trying to make things, the experience much more pleasant for you as the client. So book with me. We come out to you. We do offer subscription services as well. In fact, let me see if I can share. See if I can share. Share. Okay, I'm done. I'm stop singing. Let me see if I can get this. So I'm going to. Oh, I froze. Okay, I'm back. So I am going to share with you our our I'm going to share with you some of the subscription offers that we do have. So give me 1 second so I can share the screen. All right, so let's make this bigger. All right. So one of our subscription services that we do offer is the family subscription, where you only pay $800 a year. You get one session every 3 months, so that means one session a quarter. One thing that I find when it comes to families is that we often forget to take pictures. Most cases is usually the last time they took pictures is the oldest child was a youngin, or the second to the oldest was in diapers. So we wanted to make sure that you don't lose time in capturing the moments, right? So for you only pay $200 every 3 months, and you get a session each quarter or every 3 months. So just think about, you have session for holidays. You have, sometimes you want that end of the summer, getting ready for school year type pictures. You have spring pictures for your family. You have like the New Year's type pictures, like, so you get 4 sessions a year. Each session comes with 10 premium images, 2 outfits, and you get 2 hours for each session. So that's 20 images in a year. Actually, no, that's 40 images in a year. A total of 8 outfits for the year, and a total of 8 hours of session time, which I think is remarkable. And if you were to break that down into months, that's like $70 a month. You cannot beat that. So that is for local. If you're in the St. Louis area, um, we're only taking a limited number of families. So you don't want to get that message of, I'm sorry, we are fully maxed out for family subscriptions. Like, no, get on it while you can. And then we have the studio subscription. So the studio subscription is something that I created for those, like, whether you're in real estate, if you're in acting, you need, some, like, you could be an author, a writer. Like, these are industries that kind of need images more frequently, and they're using these images often. And so with a studio subscription, you only pay $99 a month, and it's a 3 month commitment, where you get 30 sessions for each month. You get 5 premium images, and it's 1 outfit. And again, it's just so that you can get those images in and out, get those images that you need so that you can keep pushing content. So that's for 3 months, $99 a month. Then we have our premium subscription. The premium subscription is an hour a month. You get 10 premium images for each session. It is a 6 month commitment. So you're paying this for the next 6 months. You're paying $299 a month for 6 months. Now, you get 2 outfits for each session. Now, what makes this subscription so special is that you get unlimited flyers, you get 10 content posts. So technically you're getting marketing content on demand as you're needing. It's like, hey, Lawrence, I need a flyer for this. Can you get that to me? I'd be like, yes, boss, I got you. Give me 24 hours or 48 hours, and boom, you'll have it. And so that's the idea of having this premium subscription. And again, I'm only taking less number of subscribers for this because I'm working for you on demand. So that means you're getting a lot more of my attention each month that you are doing this. So again, this is for local areas, just because it includes the photography piece. So that is that. And then my favorite subscription is the platinum subscription, and this is $2,500 a month. Now here's why. You get 3 hours a session per month, so that's a total of 9 hours for your subscription because it is a 3 month subscription. You get 12 premium images, which comes out to about 36 images for the entire contract. You get three outfits, well, so about nine for the entire 3 month time span. We actually come to you. So once you've actually processed your payment for the month, you receive a link in which you can now schedule your session within that 30 days of that payment. So and we fly out to you to take those pictures. So it doesn't matter where you are as long as you are within the US. This package is very special because this does give you that on-demand feel. All of our subscription packages, we put the power of scheduling your session in your hands. And we create a calendar specifically for your services. And of course, it's communicated with other calendars so that nothing is being double booked. So this is why the platinum service is so good. And then you get marketing on demand, unlimited flyers. We create content for you on demand, and so this is what you're getting for the entire 3 months. So just think, you don't even have to worry about no marketing. We have behind the scene footage videos that we capture for you. Like it's just so much, so you don't have to worry about marketing at all. We take care of that, and then we create a marketing strategy plan. So that means we create everything for you. What we're going to do, we plan it out, we put it on paper, we create a calendar and a timeline, and then you are set. All you got to do is be the boss that you are and go make that money. And when you're ready for that photo shoot, boom, let's schedule it. Boom, I'll see you in Miami. I'll see you in Texas. I'll see you in New York. I'll see you in Maryland. Wherever you are, we're just going to fly to you, take those pictures. You're good to go. Nothing else that you have to do on your part. That's why that is a platinum service. And again, it's for anyone that's within the US. And so if you are desiring to take that option, then definitely, I think I just kind of went out a little bit. Okay, I'm back. But if you're wanting to take that offer, you can go to Chapter A Studio. At the very top, it will say subscriptions. Go ahead and click on that, and it'll take you to this page where you can submit uh, your request. And I will contact you afterwards. All we ask for is your name, phone number, email, and the subscription that you are interested in. We are looking to provide more quarterly based subscriptions, but we're just testing the waters on these first. So far we are starting to get some subscribers. So don't you wait and don't get caught with your work undone. All right. So I want to thank you all so much for taking this time to watch this video and even watch the replay. I'm going to do my best to even break this video down because there was a lot of information that was taken or spoken for this presentation. So we're going to break some of these videos down and kind of give it out piece by piece. So if there's no if, I'm done. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Lawrence. I am your branding photographer. I serve all places within US. I cater towards the women in business, but I help all entrepreneurs and I also help small businesses up to 500 employees with your branding as well as your professional headshot. So connect with me if you need any assistance with your personal branding or your professional branding. I'm going to end this broadcast and I will see you next time. If you have not registered for the Powerhouse branding, we are having our first virtual meetup this evening. I want you there. It's not just for women, it's also for men. We have some men that will be present as well. So come on, let's meet everyone. I believe we're about more than 70 members now for this community, which is amazing. So I would love to see your face this evening. It is going to be on Zoom. And so we're looking forward to networking with you and learning more about your business. And hey, even figuring out ways we can collaborate together on future projects. All right. See you. I'll make sure I post that in the comments after I share this video. So thank you guys. I'm going to end the broadcast now. Bye bye.